we will be discussing the online graduate programs in environmental engineering, science, and management offered through the Whiting School of Engineering at Johns Hopkins University. My name is Cheryl Williams, and I am the Assistant Director for Recruitment and Marketing here at the Whiting School of Engineering. With me tonight is Dr. Hedy Alavi. Hedy is the Program Chair for Environmental Engineering and Science, and Environmental Planning and Management. He also serves as the Assistant Dean for International Programs for the Whiting School of Engineering and is an Associate Teaching Professor at the Whiting School's full-time programs in the Department of Environmental Health and Engineering. Also with me tonight is Mr. Young Kim. Young teaches a number of courses for these programs, including Principles of Environmental Engineering, Hazard Waste Engineering and Management, and Solid Waste Engineering and Management. He currently works full-time as a design engineer at KCI Technologies. He is also a graduate of our programs, earning his master's in environmental engineering in 2007. For tonight's presentation, we'll start off with an introduction to Johns Hopkins Engineering. Next, Hedy and Young will discuss with you our online programs in environmental engineering, science, and management. Then we'll review some helpful information on tuition and payment options, talk about next steps and important dates, and we'll end with a live question and answer session. If you have any questions at any point in the presentation, please type them into the questions tab on the control panel. If you are joining us via a cell phone or a tablet, simply select the question mark to access the questions section. We'll address all questions at the end of the presentation. So why study engineering at Johns Hopkins University? Johns Hopkins University was founded in 1876 as the nation's first research university. The School of Engineering opened its doors in 1913, and in 1915 it began offering part-time engineering coursework as night classes for technical workers. Since then, we've grown to offer more than 20 master's programs that can be completed part-time. 18 of these programs can be completed entirely online. In addition to our part-time programs, the Whiting School of Engineering has over 25 research centers and institutes, including our strong partnership with the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory in Laurel, Maryland. It also offers full-time bachelor's, master's, and PhD programs. Our online and part-time programs are led by respected senior years engineers from our Applied Physics Laboratory and faculty from our full-time programs. We are ranked in the top 20 best online graduate engineering programs by U.S. News & World Report. And of all the schools that are included in these rankings, we have the largest online part-time student population. So not only will you have lots of fellow students going through a similar learning experience, but these rankings really speak to the quality of our programs, regardless of our size, and our school is experienced and well-equipped to help you navigate graduate education as an online student. The degree that you earn studying with us online is of the same quality as our full-time degree programs. Your diploma will not say online. You are eligible and highly encouraged to participate in commencement. And as a graduate, you will be one of more than 28,000 Whiting School alumni and will join our esteemed international alumni community. So that is an overview of who we are and the value of our programs. Now Hedy is going to talk to you more about our environmental engineering, science, and management programs.
Good evening, everyone. This is Hedy Alavi speaking. I would like to welcome you to this session. Thank you for your interest in the program, and thank you for taking time from your work, family, kids to participate in this session. I personally appreciate the sacrifice that the non-traditional students make to advance their education and career. I was a part-time student at a point in my life. Also, I have with me my colleague, Mr. Young Kim, who is actually acts as my assistant, who is one of our wonderful instructors too. He will be speaking with you soon. Well, the graduate part-time programs that we have in environmental engineering, science, and management, this program is one of the most comprehensive and rigorous professional environmental engineering, science, technology, planning, management programs in the nation. We offer over 60 courses. These are exclusively online programs and courses. We use interactive learning technologies and online course delivery, and we have made this curricula accessible to students throughout the world, but overwhelming majority of our students are in the US. When it comes to the leadership, we have a program committee, as a matter of fact, who leads this program. I am the chair of that committee, but this committee provides vision and guidance and ensures that the instructions in the part-time program is one of the highest quality, and it is basically is aligned with that of the full-time program. The Department of Environmental Health and Engineering is actually the parallel program within the full-time program, and hosts this program within the School of Engineering, apart from Engineering for Professionals. So our program committee is really is the entire faculty of the Department of Environmental Health and Engineering. The student body, the average age is 28 years. 30% of them are in this area. 67% are out of state. And we have 3% international. Something which is not indicated here is really the number of female students in our program. I would imagine more than 50% of our students are women, which is really, we are proud of that number. So it is being very attractive, women engineering and science, environmental engineers, scientists, and managers. And they come from environmental agencies, they come from consulting firms, they come from educational institutions. I would again imagine that over 90% of students are being supported by their employers. Our faculty members, as I said, they are frankly among the best. We are 50 faculty. Most of them, they come from prominent environmental consulting firms and environmental agencies, and they are distinguished and experienced. And I would like to emphasize that in our program, environmental engineering, science, and management programs, our instructors, they have to have their highest degree in their field of expertise. And of course, all of them are committed to excellence in teaching. And many faculty members from the renowned Department of Environmental Health and Engineering also participate in the program. We offer 3 degrees and related graduate certificates and postmaster certificates. So the first one that I would like to talk about is Master of Environmental Engineering. This program that it has its own graduate certificate and postmaster certificate. It emphasizes on the design of environmental engineering processes, infrastructures, remediation technologies, and treatment processes. Then we have environmental engineering and science. This program, it focuses on the fundamental concepts of physics, chemistry, geology, biology, as applied in the context of environmental issues. And this is with less emphasis on design and management. It is really the application of science into the engineering. The third program is environmental planning and management. The focus is on the relationship between environmental engineering / science and public policy analysis, and basically the role of economic factors in the environmental management, with the emphasis on it emphasizes on the water resources planning, air management issues, and using decision-making tools. The degree is very flexible, but still focused. You need a prospective student to complete 2 degree. They need to complete 10 courses, successfully complete, of course. 5 within their area of study, and 5 electives from the entire program that could be from their own area of study as well. So assuming you are, for example, in the environmental engineering discipline, then you can take a minimum of 5 courses. You have to take minimum of 5 courses within that degree program and maximum of 10 courses. So you can take up to 10 courses within that degree program, but the other 5 courses you could take it from the other 2 degree programs. We also require that principles of environmental engineering is required for students that do not have an environmental engineering background. This is really a broad spectrum of different subjects in environmental engineering, science, and management that really helps the students to make sure that they are prepared to take other courses and make good choices for their curriculum. Next, please. Certificates, again, you need 6 courses. You need to finish these within 3 years. The degree programs, you need to finish them within 5 years, but the certificates is within 3 years. And you have to, again, the same principles. You have to take 50% of the required courses within your area of study, and the other 3 could be within your area of study or from the other two programs. I am also pleased to inform you that for the first year, we are offering a focus and certificate in environmental and occupational health. This is basically to accommodate the students that they are interested in human health aspects of the environment. You could substitute 3 of your courses from School of Engineering with equivalent number of credit hours from School of Public Health, and basically get a focus on that. And if you take a couple of more courses, as a matter of fact, you can receive an additional certificate from the renowned School of Public Health. And one reason for creation of this was the School of Engineering that actually hosted the Department of Environmental Engineering. It was joined with School of Public Health. Now it is one of the largest departments within the School of Engineering that is called basically Environmental Health and Engineering, EHE. And we take advantage of that, and now our students can take courses from the Bloomberg School of Public Health as well. Well, admission requirements, we do not require GRE because our students, they come with a lot of experience. For environmental engineering, you need to have an ABET accredited undergraduate engineering degree and GPA of 3, minimum of 3. However, these requirements are not engraved in stone, and Johns Hopkins is basically, I'm not saying it is flexible, but we really look at every application on its own merit. To get admitted into the environmental engineering and science degree program, you need to have an undergraduate degree in engineering or natural sciences, GPA 3, and you also have to have math requirements, 1 year of college level calculus, and a course in differential equations. Again, for all of these programs, biology, chemistry, geology, physics, statistics, these are recommended, but they are not required. For the environmental planning and management, we require an undergraduate degree in engineering, natural sciences, economics, planning, management, or related areas. Again, you need to have 1 year of college level calculus. We do not require differential equations for this program. And again, sciences such as science courses such as biology, chemistry, physics, statistics, geology, they are recommended. Now we turn it to my colleague, Mr. Yang Kin. Yang, take it over, please.
As Cheryl and Dr. Alavi mentioned, I am a previous graduate and an alum of this major. And this, I believe, is the main reason for me being invited to contribute to tonight's session and to share my experiences, past and present, in the program with you all. Like many of you, I have what I consider a regular day job, and I also teach with Dr. Alavi, along with other instructors in the part-time program, having had a small hand in helping to bring the curriculum online many years ago, and also helping to improve the courses as the need arises. So at the risk of sounding a little presumptuous, I believe I am in a good position to give you a feel for what to expect as it pertains to the program. The program is rigorous, both synchronous and asynchronous presentation. There will be voiceover lectures and materials, many of which will vary depending on the course instructors that you have. We continuously strive to improve and make use of available technology for the courses, and you can expect roughly approximately 10 hours per week on a course in the case you are wondering what the time commitment will be. Now, I think the best way for me to informally describe the courses, at least for the ones that I hope to teach, is to compare it to what you may have already experienced in a typical full-time, in-person undergraduate or graduate courses. There are two distinct aspects or categories of questions I anticipate that prospective students may have, and they are: one, the fact that this is part-time, and two, the fact that this is online. So the first one, part-time aspect, I believe is personal, and depending on who you ask, the answers may vary, but the main reason or benefit is the flexibility in schedule. For instance, being able to view the lessons or lectures at a time and place convenient to you. And along with that flexibility in daily schedule and location is the flexibility in being able to take varied amount of courses at any one time to accommodate your needs per semester. So there are both short-term and long-term flexibility in the program. A lot of the questions on the part-time aspect also hinges on administrative issues, such as how many courses can I take per semester, or what are the prerequisites for a certain class or course that you're interested in taking. And these are few of the questions that I normally would defer to the project administrator, such as Cheryl, or project program chair, who happens to be Hedy in this case. Now, let me talk a little bit about the online aspect of the program. The course approach here at Hopkins is similar to your undergraduate or your graduate experiences in a full-time, in-person program, in that it is usually broken down into weekly lecture modules. Similar to your previous experience, there likely will be weekly assignments that you would turn in for grading. And similar to your previous experiences, there will be, in most cases, exams and or quizzes throughout the semester. Now, on the other hand, unlike your undergraduate or graduate experiences in full-time, in-person program, there is, at least on the surface, a limited opportunity for in-person participation for questions, discussions, or extracurricular activities such as group projects, class discussions, extra credits, field participations, and so on. And this is where the majority of the variations in the online aspect of the course are apparent, and it depends on the nature of the course. There are opportunities for discussions through online forums, and in many of the classes, this is a requirement or part of the student's participation grade. Collaborations with your fellow students may also be possible initially through online discussions, then perhaps by email, then outside of the electronic platform by individual contact and collaboration outside of the virtual classroom setting. This does not mean that the instructors are also limited in their contact with the students. For example, one of the courses available in our program is primarily about learning field methodologies in habitat analysis and wetland delineation. And although I cannot speak on behalf of Dr. Bill Helgartner, who teaches that particular course, I do know that a major component of that particular course is about meeting in the field with the students to discuss field methodology and procedures. I took that course, so I know what to expect in that particular course. So a common question I sometimes get asked by prospective students is, would you do it again, knowing what you know now? And to that, my answer is a resounding yes. And to the students, I say that with the caveat that we have all heard before, and that is, as with any endeavor, the experience depends primarily on what one makes of the opportunity. For those of us that desire the freedom and chance to be a little creative in your educational experience, I see that the program gives that flexibility. And for those of us who desire a more concrete and defined path towards the educational goal, I also see this program structured enough to provide that as well. So those are some general thoughts about the program I can share with you up front without getting into too much detail at this point. I believe I can be of more service to the students by allowing Cheryl and Dr. Alavi to continue with providing you with more information, and then perhaps being able to answer specific questions that the students may have later on. So with that, I'd like to hand it back to you, Cheryl, Dr. Alavi.
Thank you so much again, Young. Now we'd like to share some information to help you take this next step. Some of the most common questions our admissions team gets from prospective students is, what is the tuition and what resources are available to help me pay? So here it is. Our tuition is currently $4,250 per course. Our courses are each 3 credits, so this is the total tuition cost for each 3-credit course. Because our tuition fluctuates every year due to inflation, we encourage students to budget $45,000 total for the cost of their degree. This may exclude the cost of books and materials just because that cost varies depending on what courses you register for. But it does not include any fees, or we do not require our students to pay any sort of tech fees on a semester basis. Our online and part-time students do not pay any student union fee. We do not charge an application fee for our prospective applicants. The only fee that our students have to pay is a fee at the end of their study with us. It's known as a graduate fee. You have a variety of financing options available to you depending on your personal circumstance. I really encourage you to investigate and to take any advantage of any education benefits your employer may offer. A large percentage of our students are using some sort of employer funding to finance their education. We unfortunately do not have any scholarships available for our online and part-time graduate students, but there are other associations and organizations that do. For example, the National Consortium for Graduate Degrees for Minorities in Engineering, otherwise known as the National GEM Consortium, does offer fellowship programs. Rules, requirements, and application instructions can be found on GEM's website. And the application for these fellowship programs is open from July 1st to November 13th. So keep that in mind. The deadline is November 13th and the application opens July the 1st. If you are a U.S. citizen or qualifying U.S. resident, you may be eligible to use financial aid. Financial aid that is available for graduate students is largely unsubsidized loans. So similar to that, you can of course finance your education through a personal loan. And if you are active duty or retired military and you have veterans benefits, you can of course utilize these to finance your education. We do have a number of active duty and retired military enrolled in our online and part-time programs. If you are planning on using veterans benefits to finance your education, here are some things to keep in mind. The URL that you see here on the screen has a lot of great information regarding what forms you need to complete and to submit in order to utilize veterans benefits at Hopkins. The point of contact for these students, her name is Nancy Carr, and she is incredibly helpful and responsive. You can find her contact information by visiting the URL that you see on your screen. For students using Chapter 33 post 9/11 benefits, the Department of Veteran Affairs sets an annual cap on tuition for private schools. That cap is $23,671.94, and this is for one full academic school year. So it includes the fall, spring, and summer semester, and then it renews every fall. 5 courses with us will cost you roughly $21,250. So that is under the tuition cap. 6 courses, though, will exceed the tuition cap. That's $25,500. Johns Hopkins is a yellow ribbon school. How yellow ribbon works at Johns Hopkins is that it is applied once the tuition cap is exceeded. And if it is exceeded, qualifying students can receive up to $1,000 per year. And it is awarded on a first come, first served basis. Coming this fall, there are some changes regarding how the VA will calculate the housing allowance for Chapter 33 recipients. Your BAH, basic housing allowance, will be calculated using the zip code for your on-site courses. So this is more applicable for students who are taking maybe an elective course outside of these particular programs, because these programs, the coursework is offered exclusively online. We are also happy to announce that Hopkins offers various networking opportunities for our veteran students. For current students, there is an online networking group via LinkedIn. Just search the Johns Hopkins University Veterans Connection Group, and you'll be able to join that organization. For alumni, the networking group is offered through our Alumni Affinity office, and you can visit, it's a really simple website, alumni.jhu.edu/affinitygroups/veterans to find out more information on that. Students who are educated outside of the U.S. do have some additional admissions requirements. They must submit an international credit evaluation of any credit earned at non-U.S. institutions. We prefer them to go through WES. That's the third-party credit evaluation service for this evaluation. They also must provide proof of English proficiency via, for example, qualifying scores on a TOEFL exam. Unfortunately, international students studying on a F1 visa, student visa, are not eligible to enroll in our online and part-time graduate programs, as our registrar office can no longer issue these students an I-20. The I-20 is the form necessary to maintain an F1 student visa. It confirms the location of a student's on-site classes that the student is indeed taking an in-person class at the university. The coursework, as we've discussed for these programs, is offered exclusively online, so we are unable to issue that form. Next steps and important dates. If you are interested in enrolling one of these programs, your first step is to submit your application. You can do that by visiting the URL that you see on your screen, ep.jhu.edu/apply. Next is to submit your transcripts and a copy of your professional resume. We offer rolling admissions here for our online and graduate students. Our online and part-time graduate students, it typically takes about 4 to 6 weeks from the time a student submits all their documents for the academic and admissions departments to review all those documents and then issue a decision letter. So with that timeline in mind, here are some important dates. Registration for the summer actually opened on March the 22nd, and our summer term begins May 29th. So if you are, it's a little late if you haven't already submitted your application to be considered for the summer. However, if you already have submitted your application, there's still time for you to submit your additional documents. Please submit those as soon as possible. For students interested in studying the fall, registration actually opens on July the 5th, and the fall term begins August the 27th. So I encourage you to submit those documents, your application, your transcripts, your resume as soon as possible, ideally by June 15th for consideration for the fall semester. And that is the end of the prepared portion of this presentation. Now I'd like to open it back up to Young and Hetty to answer some of your questions. And we have had a couple of them come in. Hetty, are you ready?
Sure.
All right, first question. If you complete the graduate certificate, can you later use those same courses rolled up into a master's degree?
The answer is positive, although you need to finish the degree requirements, the 10 courses within the 5-year limitation.
Okay, all right. So that would be the one limiting factor is just the time frame. Question number 2, having reviewed the description of the program requirements, I'm curious if you have any recommendations on how to communicate readiness to succeed in the program if an applicant does not meet certain requirements, for example, undergraduate GPA. Should supplemental information or narrative be submitted with the academic transcripts and the resume? And this is a question just because our application does not require, nor does it have a space for any kind of personal statement. Hetty.
This is a wonderful question. As I mentioned before, we receive application and review applications on their own merits. So every applicant has its own wonderful background. So I would suggest that you fortify your application by any means. For example, if you have work experience, if you have recommendation letters, and for example, if you are a professional, registered professional engineer, whatever you can use to enhance your application, please do so. So we consider every single item, but again, there are some thresholds that if really the GPA is really low, then that's something that I discourage you. So since the application fee doesn't exist, so that would be basically useful if you submit and see what happens if the GPA is not marginal.
All right, wonderful. We still have a couple of more minutes here with Dr. Alavi and Mr. Kim. If you have any questions, please go ahead and submit them. You can do that by accessing the questions tab on your control panel. Just type them in real quick and we can have them answer your questions live on the air. If you are joining us via a cell phone or a tablet this evening, just select the question mark to access that question section.
I would like, if you have a couple of minutes, I would like to go to the slide that shows a few of our instructors, the faculty members that we have. As I indicated before, the program features about 50 highly qualified faculty members, and they are distinguished and experienced professionals. I would like to, for example, talk about a couple of faculty members here that you see there. Dr. Christian Davisman, who is the former president of the American Academy of Environmental Engineers and Scientists. That is the first one. The third one, former secretary of the Maryland Department of the Environment, Mr. Bob Summers. Michael Delarco, who is actually one of the members of the leadership at the National Institute of Health. So these are really prominent faculty members that we have in our program, and I'm really proud to have these instructors teaching our students and sharing their valuable experience and expertise with our students.
All right, wonderful. I have two more questions for you, Hedy. The next question, for somebody who is trying to decide between the three programs, I think this is kind of a two-part question. Is it possible, it says, will the prerequisite course Principles of Environmental Engineering help me decide between the three engineering programs?
That is something that helps a lot. However, I'll be happy and pleased to speak with you individually and just give you some insight and guide you towards your decision. And the fact is not only really the program, it is what you would like to do in the future and what you are doing now, what are your interests, and many different factors that I'll be happy to discuss with them individually. And what our programs offers, what are the job opportunities for each programs, and different other factors that I'll be happy to discuss with you individually.
All right, wonderful. Related to this question, if a student wanted to switch from one program to another program, is that a possibility as long as they have met the prerequisites for that program?
Excellent question. The answer is yes. You can switch once during your while you're studying with us. However, keep in mind that you need to, as you indicated correctly, you need to satisfy the admission requirements, and you also need to satisfy the degree requirements for the program that you are switching into it.
Next question. Okay, so this question is related to some environmental engineering. We discussed how the admission requirement is an ABET accredited bachelor's degree. But if a student does not have that ABET accredited bachelor's degree, if they have, for example, their bachelor's in natural sciences, are there prerequisite courses that they could take in order to qualify for the program?
We do not actually require prerequisite courses. What the prospective applicant could do, they could speak with their basically professional engineering department of their states and ask them whether they can be qualified to sit in their Fundamental of Engineering exam. If they are qualified to sit in that exam, occasionally they do that. In fact, some of our own students have done so. Then if they approve that they can take that exam, they can qualify, they take that exam, then we will be pleased to accept them, admit them. So they would determine what courses they need to take. It is really impossible for me to go and review every single application and transcripts to see what courses they need to take to fulfill the requirements. But the fundamental of engineering exam that normally our students are undergraduate students, they take it in their senior years, that would be an indication of us that the prospective student would be qualified to be admitted into the Master of Environmental Engineering.
It looks like we have come to the end of our questions. So I'd like to take this moment and say, Dr. Alavi, Mr. Kin, thank you so much for your time this evening. Thank you for all of this great information. And thank you to all of our attendees. Thank you so much for giving us your time this evening, and thank you for your interest in our programs.
Well, thank you, and in particular, thank you to our prospective students, and we look forward to receiving your application and reviewing your application. And you have any questions, please. We are sort of informal. You have my phone available. I'm sure you can find it. In fact, my office number is 410-516-6022. You can call me at any time at your convenience to discuss your specific questions and your specific situations, and any advice that I could provide to you, I'll be pleased to do so. Again, 410-516-6022 is my office number. Have a wonderful evening.